Tonight, I just wanna take you away.
So we just got to an Airbnb in San Diego because it's been a little bit of an interesting week in Malibu.
Tonight, relentless Santa Ana winds sparking multiple new fires across Southern California.
Spraying this one for like the whole 2 days.
They have a hose that's run down to the ocean, and it's brought up onto that fire truck, so they're pumping out ocean water onto the houses. See anybody there? Fuck. They got lucky though. It's only one part.
So one of the cool things about this Airbnb is that there are 2 separate little houses. So when I'm doing demos, Hunter can be in the other little structure. I feel weird. It's because of the fires. I'm calling them structures now instead of homes. But there are 2 structures on the property, which means that when I'm doing calls, Hunter has his own little space and he doesn't interrupt me. What's going on in here? This is Hunter's toxic trait. He'll be watching YouTube videos of doing some kind of ADHD
I'm actually
thing.
house hunting for our new livelihood in Miami.
Sure, and then he provides some kind of excuse that makes me feel guilty.
Look, we're talking about our price range.
Oh.
And I was watching Mike Glover talk about drones in New Jersey.
This
Is it aliens?
Mm-hmm.
My belief is this. I think it is gravitational devices from China. What do you think?
I think you're deflecting from the fact that you were meant to be working and you were getting distracted. That's what I think.
Checking out the member wins. China.
What are we doing?
We are about to go for a morning jog.
A
More
jog?
importantly, are we going to get a second coffee before or after?
Before and after.
Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24
I feel like this is an excuse to slow down.
It's definitely not.
so clear. Look out.
We made it. It's worth it. Didn't want to do it, but glad I did. Friend Jasmine always says that, and it's definitely true. You never feel like getting up. In my case, it's I never feel like stopping working, as Hunter will attest to. It's one of the hardest things to get me to get off of Slack, and one of my bad habits is I'll just get up and start working right away because I'm grateful that I love what I do, but it's kind of hard to pull me away from it sometimes. But today, I am very glad that I stepped away, that I put up with the first 2 minutes of sucking in the run to get the good feeling afterwards. You want to come take a look?
Let's do it.
Secondary room. Smallest room of the bunch.
That's the one that has the cool bathroom.
Oh, dude, it's dope.
I like that it has the marble. Yeah, no, it has the marble countertop, which is nice, and everything still looks really good. It's just the brown versus the black, but we'll live with it. So since we've been down here, it's been a little bit ambiguous on how long we'll be here, how long until I'm back in my usual office, how long until I can get all the things done that were kind of on my to-do list and slated to get done. And I just decided that I'm not going to allow this to set me back. And so that's why we actually just went and got a microphone from Elise, because I don't want to be the kind of person that has something on their to-do list. There's a little bit of a roadblock, i.e. there's a wildfire, didn't bring my mic down here, et cetera, et cetera. And now that thing that I knew I needed to get done to actually achieve my goals is now getting pushed back. When there's a simple solution, ask a friend, go buy one, figure it out. And it was just making me think about the type of person that you need to be if you want to be successful in life, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur. You need to be the kind of person that figures out the solution when the problems arise. Because if you're always waiting for conditions to be perfect to go out and sail, then you're not going to sail a whole lot. I just wanted to share that with you. If there's something blocking you from getting where you want to go, it's your job and your responsibility to find out how to get around that block ASAP, instead of letting that block become an excuse or a deadline that got pushed back for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, however long we're gonna be here, I don't know, but I certainly know that I don't want the things that I have planned to get where I wanna go to be pushed back just because of a little bit of uncertainty. So all that to say, if there is something in your life that's going on right now that is making it a little bit challenging for you to get where you wanna go, Trust me, I understand. But trust me also when I say that there's always a simple solution. You just have to be committed to finding it and not letting your mind feed you excuses or things that could set you back, and you accepting that. Refuse to accept it and you will find the solution. So obviously in building any business, there's so much work that goes in behind the scenes to bring it all to life and to make it happen that no one will ever know about. And that's definitely been the case with MemberUp, being a software company. There's a lot, it's a whole different beast. And we've been building for a few years now to bring this to life. And one of the things that fuels my fire and gives me energy and makes it so worth it is just talking to customers and hearing what they think of the platform. You know, doing demo calls, you show people what you've built, you talk about how it is the solution to their problems, and you actually get the chance to see them react. And you get to see that human element of it, that when you're in the back end, when you're in spreadsheets, when you're in numbers, when you're, you know, QAing things and doing all of the back end work to bring it all together, you don't really get a sense of your why a whole lot of the time. And so for me, I know the way that my mind works, it's really important that I talk to customers and get that little boost of energy from doing so, not only because it helps us build a better product, but because I know that I'll lose sight of why I'm doing this if I don't speak to the people who are actually using it, appreciating it. Obviously, I'm a customer myself, so I use it every day, but it gives you energy. And I think it's so important as a founder never to get too far away from the people that you're actually serving. Because for me, I've learned that no matter how big the numbers get, nothing is as fulfilling or can replace the fulfillment that comes from actually serving and giving back to people and doing things for someone other than yourself. That might fuel you in the short term, but in the long term, fulfillment comes from serving others. And so doing these demos is something that fills up my cup. And especially with everything that's been going on this week, there's been a lot of things that we've had to take care of despite, everything that's happening. And it just feels good to reconnect to my why and reconnect to the people that we're building this for. It's hard to get him when he doesn't move. Aww. Yeah, he's cute.
He's like a little e-boy dog. Look at his sad little eyes.
He is very cute.
You got a part Hunter's hair.
I love how he crosses his paws.
Is he crossing him now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the little legs.
Very.
But we need to do your hair
No.
like an e-boy.
No.
Come here.
No.
Come here.
I'm not. You know what an e-boy is?
I remember
We've talked
part I
about
showed
this.
you that you screamed.
Wow, your hair. Elise has just experienced a Dyson Airwrap for the first time.
I love it so much.
But this one right here.
No.
Hello, Loki. Oh, you're so cute.
The green flash is basically like I think it's actually a real thing, but it's also like a old, like sailor wise tale that when the sun goes down and it goes right to the very edge where it goes back, apparently there's like a green flash that occurs, which is like either good luck or bad luck.
I've never seen this.
Yeah, it's in the Pirates of the Caribbean. So now you know it's a bit.
So it's maybe fictional.
Yeah, I actually would be curious to ChatGPT that.
I was just told about a supposed green flash that happens when the sun goes down and it's on the horizon. Is this fictional or is there any truth to this?
The green flash is a real phenomenon. It's a brief flash of green light that can sometimes be seen just as the sun sets or rises. It happens because the Earth's atmosphere bends the light, separating it into different colors. Conditions need to be just right, so it's pretty rare, but it's definitely not fictional.
Learn something new every day.
There you go. Not just Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, there we go. I just got a message. It said, love your guts. It's amazing having a relationship where I can be me fully. We're going to make magic. I think it feels very nice to be able to have people that are just aligned, have the same values. Makes it so easy.
Try to come back.
That's for sure. I mean, I feel like most people just stay friends with the people that they were friends with in school, and they don't really like intentionally curate their friend group or their relationships at all. I think it's something I've only really been becoming more and more aware of, like in my 30s. But now I think it comes down to values, like everything. You can't be friends with people. Thank you. You can't be friends with people if they have different values.
No.
I mean, it just doesn't work. You can love them.
Work with them.
Yeah, I mean, you can love them, but you can't be close to them. They're never going to understand. I think for me too, like I've always felt, I know you felt this too, like I've always felt like I've never really fit in. I've been like moving all over the world trying to find where I fit. I feel like I'm starting to find that. So we got back to Malibu a few days ago. They lifted the evacuation orders and the utilities are back on, and thankfully our house is okay. But I haven't picked up the camera in a little while because as soon as we got back, we very, very quickly were packing as much as we could and getting the house ready for showings so that we can get to Miami ASAP. So next vlog, maybe we'll be vlogging from Miami, fingers crossed. But one of the really, really cool lessons to come out of this whole fire situation is that you don't necessarily see the blessing when you're going through the challenge, because everyone paid attention to the most recent fires, the Palisades fires. Obviously, it's like world news. But what a lot of people didn't realize is we actually had a fire, I think it was December 10th, so about a month prior, that started in our neighborhood. It was like 11 p.m. I woke up because I heard like helicopters going around outside and sirens, and then I looked at my phone. It was SOS, there was no service. And I was like, Hunter, just go check. Like, I don't know what's going on out there. Go and check. And he was like, I'm sure it's fine. And I was like, no, seriously, go check. He's like, why? What do you think could be happening? And I was like, a massive wildfire. And little did I know that I was correct. We walked out the front door. So first thing, we looked out this balcony here and everything looked fine. And then we looked out the front door, and over the ridgeline in the back of our neighborhood, a massive wildfire was coming toward us. So that was the first experience ever for me with fire. I will say it is one of the most terrifying things. I've been through a lot of different natural disasters, flooding, hurricanes, but fire is definitely, it invokes a new kind of fear that I haven't felt before. So we like threw everything in the car as much as we could and got out. And that night we had kind of come to terms with the fact that we thought we would lose our house. Thankfully, it got 2 down in our street, was as close as it got, and we survived. And a lot of the neighborhood survived because there was so much firefighting presence able to protect a lot of the homes in the neighborhood because it was kind of more of a localized fire. But all of the mountains around the back of our neighborhood are like burnt to a crisp. It kind of looks like Iceland a little bit now. In that moment, we didn't know, obviously, that we would have another fire a month later, and that would be the very thing that actually protected us from this one. So the Palisades fire, the second one, we were standing on the mountain, like watching it roar up the coastline because the winds were like strong enough to knock you over. And it got all the way up to the burn scar of the fire that we had previously, and there was no more fuel to ignite it. And had it not happened, then the winds that night were so strong, it probably would have got like all the way up to Point Doom and beyond. So we feel very lucky and very grateful. Obviously, not a lot of people are able to say the same thing, but it's kind of crazy to just reflect on that lesson. Like the first fire, we had no idea that that would be the very thing that protected us from the second. And had the second one come here, there was no fighting that fire at all because the winds were so crazy, and you know, the emergency responders were just so overwhelmed that night. So feeling grateful. If that is not a life lesson, I don't know what is. So long story short, if you're going through a challenge, whether it's a fire or something in life right now, and you can't necessarily see the silver lining right now, just know that it may not be apparent, but over time it will become apparent. There is always a silver lining. I've learned that a few very, very big times in my life. Most recently, just got reminded of it again. So wanted to share that with you and just remind you that although it may not seem like it at times, life is always happening for us, not to us. But that being said, I'm very excited to continue packing up the house, get out of here, start a new fresh chapter in Miami. I'll be sure to share the house that we found with you when it is finalized and bring you along that journey too. So if you'd like to come along, be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.